Number 7. Mercedes-Benz Biome. The Mercedes-Benz Biome is a concept car that was created by Mercedes-Benz in 2010 for the Los Angeles Design Challenge. The challenge was to design a car that weighed less than 1,000 pounds and could carry 4 people in comfort and safety. The Biome isn't a conventional vehicle, but rather a hybrid of natural technology that's grown in a lab from organic materials. The car is made of a material called BioFibre, which is lighter than metal and plastic, yet stronger than steel. The car only weighs 875.5 pounds and has a seamless design that resembles a leaf. The Biome runs on a fuel called BioNectar 4534, which is stored in the car's biofiber and produces oxygen as a byproduct. The car also has a symbiosis system that allows it to communicate with other vehicles and the environment. The vehicle can adapt to different driving conditions and preferences, and can even generate its own sounds and scents. The Biome is also designed to be completely biodegradable and recyclable. The car grows from the DNA in the Mercedes star on the front and rear of the vehicle and can be customized by genetically engineering the star. And the wheels of the Biome are grown separately from 4 different seeds. The Biome is a visionary concept that shows how cars could be grown in a lab rather than built on a production line, and how they could be in harmony with nature rather than harming it. The Biome is truly one of the most innovative and futuristic concept cars ever made. Number 6. The Messerschmitt KR200. Imagine driving a 9-foot vehicle that has a cockpit-like cabin, a propeller-like steering wheel, and a 2-stroke engine that can run in both directions. But on top of all that, the car can zip through traffic and park in tight spaces. Sounds like a fantasy, right? Well, not if you lived in Germany in the 1950s and 60s, when you could have owned the Messerschmitt KR200. This vehicle was a 3-wheeled bubble car that was designed by an aircraft engineer and produced by an aircraft manufacturer. The Messerschmitt KR200, or Kabinenroller, or cabin scooter in English, was the brainchild of Fritz Fend, a man who'd previously developed a small motorized vehicle for disabled veterans. He approached Messerschmitt, an aircraft manufacturing corporation which was banned from making planes after World War II, with the idea of making a cheap and efficient car for the masses. The result was a quirky and futuristic car that had a small cabin with a canopy door. The door of the Messerschmitt KR200 included all the windows and the frame in which it was set. The vehicle had 4 speeds, forward and reverse, depending on which way the engine was spinning, as well as sequential and unsynchronized. The Messerschmitt KR200 was very popular in its time, selling over 30,000 units from 1955 to 1964. It was also exported to other countries, like the UK and the US. It was praised for its low fuel consumption, easy parking, and fun driving experience. It could reach speeds of up to 56 miles an hour and had a range of about 100 miles on a single tank of gas. The Messerschmitt KR200 was also available in different body styles, such as convertibles and roadsters. It even set several speed and endurance records for its class, and some celebrities like Elvis Presley owned one of these cars. The Messerschmitt KR200 is now a rare and collectible car that attracts many enthusiasts and admirers. It's considered one of the most unusual and iconic cars ever made, and serves as a symbol of post-war German ingenuity and optimism. Number 5. The amphicar. Have you ever wished you could drive your car into the water and explore the aquatic world? Well, if you had an amphicar, you could do just that. The amphicar was a unique vehicle that could function as both a car and a boat. It was produced in Germany from 1961 to 1965 and was equipped with a propeller and a rudder. It could reach 70 miles per hour on land and 8 miles per hour on the water. The amphicar was the brainchild of Hans Trippel, a German engineer who designed several amphibious vehicles for the military during World War II. But he wanted to create a civilian version that would appeal to the masses. So he partnered with the Quant Group, a German industrial conglomerate, to manufacture the amphicar at their factories in Lübeck and Berlin. The amphicar had a 4-cylinder piston engine that was mounted in the back of the vehicle, and it could drive the rear wheels through a 4-speed manual transmission. The same engine powered a pair of reversible propellers at the back for use in the water, with a second gear lever enabling forward or backward motion. The car also had a bilge pump and a waterproof hull. and the driver could steer the car on land and water using the same steering wheel. The amphicar was marketed as the car that swims and the sports car that's also a boat. It was sold in various countries, including the US, where it was popular among celebrities and politicians. Some famous owners of the amphicar included President Lyndon B. Johnson, who liked to prank his guests by driving them into a lake, and comedian Dick Van Dyke, who used his amphicar in one of his movies. The amphicar was also used for various promotional stunts and events like crossing the English Channel, touring the Mediterranean Sea, and participating in parades and races. It even had its own club, the International Amphicar Owners Club, which still organizes annual swim-in meetup events. The amphicar wasn't without its flaws, though. It was expensive to buy and maintain, prone to rust and leaks, and slow and noisy on both land and water. It also faced strict regulations and safety standards from various authorities, and as a result, only 3,800 amphicars were produced before production ceased in 1965. The amphicar is now a rare and collectible vehicle that attracts many fans and admirers, and it's considered one of the most bizarre and innovative cars ever made. Number 4. The Peel P50. The Peel P50 was the smallest car ever made, and it was as cute as a button. Manufactured by the Peel Engineering Company, it was produced on the Isle of Man from 1962 to 1965. The company wanted to create a cheap and simple car that could be used for short trips around town. The result was a 3-wheeled microcar that measured only 54 inches long and 39 inches wide. It weighed only 130 pounds and had a 49cc engine that could reach up to 38 miles per hour. The Peel P50 was extremely easy to drive and park, and it had no reverse gear and could be turned around by using a handle at the rear. It also had very low running costs and could travel 100 miles on a single gallon of gas. The Peel P50 was also available in 3 colors: Daytona White, Dragon Red, and Dark Blue. The vehicle wasn't very comfortable or practical, however. It had no suspension, no heater, no radio, and no trunk. It also had poor visibility and safety features. And although the car had some perks, it wasn't very popular, as only 50 units were sold before production was stopped in 1965. The Peel P50 holds the Guinness World Record for the smallest production car ever made. It also appeared in several TV shows and movies, including Top Gear, Mr. Bean's Holiday, and Cars 2. The Peel P50 is a tiny car with a big personality. It's a vehicle that makes you smile and proves that size doesn't matter. And although it wasn't extremely popular, it's more than earned its spot on this list of unusual cars. If you could design your perfect car, what would it look like? And what color would you want it to be? Let us know in the comments, and while you're at it, subscribe. Number 3. The Hennessey Velociraptor 6x6. If you're looking for a truck that can handle any challenge, you might want to check out the Hennessey Velociraptor 6x6. This is a truck that has 6 wheels, a supercharged V8, and an imposing go-anywhere facade. It's based on the Ford F-150 Raptor, but with a lot of modifications and enhancements by Hennessey Performance, a Texas-based company that specializes in making cars faster and more capable. The Hennessey Velociraptor 6x6 is a large and impressive truck that has a striking appearance. It has a black body with red accents and a Hennessey logo on the front grille. The vehicle's huge tires have black rims, and it has a long bed with a roller bar and LED lights. It has a dual exhaust system and a rear bumper with tow hooks. And it also has a spacious cabin with leather seats and a sunroof, as well as a sleek hood. The Hennessey Velociraptor 6x6 has a lot of power under the hood. It uses the same 3.5-liter twin-turbocharged EcoBoost V6 as the Ford F-150 Raptor, but with Hennessey's HPE 600 performance package, and it can produce 600 or more horsepower. The Hennessey Velociraptor 6x6 isn't a cheap or practical truck, though. It costs a whopping $399,950. It also has high fuel consumption, poor maneuverability, and limited availability. It's not super popular either, as only a few dozen units were sold before production ended in 2023. Number 2. The Cadillac Cyclone. The Cadillac Cyclone was a 1959 concept car built by Cadillac as a test bed for futuristic styling and technology. It was one of the last cars designed by Harley Earl, the legendary head of GM's design department. The Cyclone was never mass-produced as a production model, but it showcased many innovative features that were ahead of their time. The most striking feature of the Cyclone was its bubble canopy, which covered the entire passenger compartment and provided a 360-degree view. The canopy was coated with silver to protect it from UV rays, and it could be opened or stowed in the car with the touch of a button. The canopy also had a two-way communication system that allowed the occupants to talk to people outside the car. The Cyclone also had a radar-operated collision avoidance system, which used two nose cones on the front of the car to detect obstacles and warn the driver with lights and sounds. The car also had sliding doors that opened on ball bearings, a rear-mounted automatic transaxle, and an all-wheel independent suspension. The Cyclone was powered by a 390 cubic inch V8 engine that produced 325 horsepower at 4,800 revolutions per minute. The engine had two fans, a cross-flow aluminum radiator, and a low-profile carburetor, and the exhaust was ported out just ahead of the front wheels, giving the car a jet-like appearance. The Cyclone's design was heavily influenced by the aviation and rocket trend of the 1950s. The car had a sleek and low-slung body with large tail fins that were later reduced in size to match the 1963-64 Cadillac models. The vehicle also had a third headlight that was mounted in the center of the car, which moved with the steering wheel to illuminate the curves. The Cadillac Cyclone is currently part of the GM Heritage Collection, where it remains a fascinating example of what the future of driving might have looked like in 1959. And at number 1, the hoverbike. The hoverbike, a hovering vehicle that resembles a flying motorcycle, features at least two propelling components, one in the front and one behind the driver. The hoverbike uses technology that's finally becoming more mainstream, as recent advances in low-cost, low-power computer technology, high-efficiency motors, and composite materials have helped turn this idea into a reality. There are several companies and individuals that are developing different versions of the hoverbike, each with their own design and features. One example is the HoverSurf S3, a drone-like flying motorcycle that can carry one rider and has 4 electric propellers that are mounted on beams. The HoverSurf S3 is controlled by a pair of joysticks, and it can fly at speeds of up to 60 miles per hour, and this thing can get up to 16 feet in the air. Designed by HoverSurf USA, which was founded by Alex Atamanov from Russia, it has a motorbike-like construction, allowing just one person to ride the hoverbike at a time. The Kitty Hawk Flyer, the brainchild of Google founder Larry Page, is another example of one of these hoverbikes. It's a one-person electric flying vehicle that has 10 propellers and 2 control sticks. It can fly over water and land at speeds of up to 20 miles per hour and at heights of up to 10 feet. Its design is reminiscent of a bobsled mounted on 2 pontoons that are surrounded by several drone rotors. But amazingly, the Kitty Hawk Flyer only weighs 250 pounds. It's not clear when this thing will hit the market, but you can get on the company's waiting list by filling out a form online. The hoverbike is a futuristic concept that shows how personal air travel could become more accessible and fun in the near future. And according to the best estimates, you may be able to purchase one of these bizarre vehicles as early as 2023. Which one of these vehicles was your favorite? Let us know in the comments below, and if you like this video, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.